should be your fight as well, brother. The promise of a golden age is over.
Now, my experience with Deus Ex Human Revolution amounted basically to this. Here. There. You have now experienced as much as Deus Ex Revolution as I have. You have looked at the box. That's an exaggeration. I played it for a little bit. I saw the big opening cutscene, you know, where he's like getting his body all replaced, and I played it for a tad bit, but I didn't get nearly far enough to give any opinion on the game. That's kind of my problem with Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I don't usually finish my games. If you think I do, I'm sorry. I'll admit that. I don't finish games when I review them. If I do, I'll put a big story spoiler thing on it, and you'll know. Now, for something like No Man's Sky, that's not really a big deal, because it's the same kind of repetitive sandbox thing. The gameplay doesn't change much. For a more story-driven game, usually I will try to finish it, and I only won't finish it if it's, like, super, super shitty. And that's when we get to Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I could not, for the life of me, get through any more of this game. It's a little more than a first impressions. Like, this is the only video you're gonna get. I'm not gonna come back to the game later. Usually if I put up a first impressions, it means that's a placeholder for a big, long 20-minute review coming. That's not the case here. In any event, here we go. I know by now you're probably sick of me talking about frame rates, but you know what else makes me sick is 30 frames per second. It makes me physically sick. In a first-person game, it's like in a third-person game, like say Uncharted 4, when the graphics are just super amazing in every other way, there's like an excuse. First-person games absolutely must be in 60 frames per second. If they don't, I get motion sick. If you're gonna be frantically looking around and aiming with a gun, I can't. The 30 frames per second kills it for me. It makes the game pretty much unplayable. Mankind Divided is definitely a texture and resolution game over a frame rate and smoothness game. Just in this little opening in-game cutscene, like everybody's clothes look very, very highly well textured on PS4 anyway. The hair too. This game has some of the best hair I've seen. It's kind of incredible. Adam Jensen's hair, it moves in the wind and it's got a shine to it and it's awesome. And then on the other hand, the dialogue is very out of sync with the mouth movement, and there is a horrible audio problem. I messed with the settings as much as I could, and I couldn't fix it. The cutscene volume is far, far lower than the game volume. Now, very, very quickly, my audible response to this game was, okay, I'm bored. Now, if you remember from English class, like, the one thing you should actually remember from English class is plot structure. What is the first thing that's supposed to happen in a plot structure? You need an initiating event. You need something to kick off your plot, something to start your story. And in Human Revolution, it was our protagonist just getting blown to shit, and we're like, oh man, he should be dead. But he's not, because we can rebuild him. We have the technology. And then Human Revolution has a plot that then continues in scale, whereas Mankind Divided, it's like all the cool and big important stuff has already happened, and it's just people dealing with it, and that is not nearly as interesting. Human Revolution is like Avengers, and Mankind Divided is like Ant-Man. It's like the super small, insignificant thing after this super huge big thing. It's like, why would I care? The story moves very, very slowly. Nothing, no characters, nor dialogue, nor cutscenes or anything cool happen to grab me and keep me interested. And it's a very visually bland game. It's just gold, 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 yellow, yellow, orange, 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 tan, everywhere. It's the same color palette, you know, everywhere in the small portion of the game I did play. This series is obsessed with that color, and I don't know why. And the thing they're going for, Mankind Divide, is like Mankind Divided, you know, augmentations against, you know, regular people, and it's like, that is so cliche and so done to death at this point. Like, every video game tries to make an allegory about, like, real life, and it automatically, like, brings it down a step. I'm getting really sick of that.
Everyone looking over their shoulder? Terrified Augs like us are going to attack them again?
Somebody probably will. Treat people like animals long enough, they'll start acting like animals.
You say that like there's nothing we could do to stop it.
I already tried 2 years ago. Didn't work out so well.
So what? Are you saying we should just give up? Let hatred and prejudice take over? To hell with that!
I'm saying I can only go after enemies I see, Alex.
And it's just like terrorism versus oppression, and everybody's killing, and everybody's getting blown up, and there isn't really a side to take. It's like, everybody's just shitty. It's like, so why should I just even care then? There's none of that, like, you can understand them both and you need to pick a side. It's like, everybody's just terrible. Now, Adam Jensen, too. Adam Jensen looks awesome. He's awesome. And he sounds awesome, too. He's got that deep, gravelly voice. and he satisfies the visual and the sound side of a good protagonist, but not really any of the depth. He looks cool, and I really, really, really want to root for Adam Jensen, but his character needs to be fleshed out more. He needs more depth. He needs a few things about him that people know. Other than him looking cool, he's kind of a generic, one-dimensional video game protagonist. And that's a shame. And then, like, gameplay-wise, the tutorials suck. There's this shooting range in, like, the Interpol, like, headquarters. Adam Jensen is an Interpol agent. But you don't get to there until several missions in the game, and it's like, okay, now you're gonna teach me how to shoot? Like, really? The controls for swapping your gun are stupid. You have to, like, hold down square and then hit left trigger to bring out your pistol. It's like, why is tap triangle not switch between pistol and rifle? Why? That is only standard in every other shooter, and it's not like you're using that button for some other important thing. Oh, also, you know what is just the most awesome, amazing thing ever? Hacking minigames. I love them. I love them. Aren't they just so cool? Aren't they so cool? Enough with the hacking minigames! And so when you first start the game, the HUD and interface is a complete mess. There is all kinds of shit on screen. Now, what is nice, the other half of that, is that you can turn pretty much everything off. You can make your health fade away, you can do that, that's all fine. But you have to go in and spend like a couple minutes in the settings doing all that before you can actually see anything. I don't need all that. I need a health bar, I need an energy bar, and I need to know which buttons do which powers. That's it. There's this really convoluted weapon customization and crafting system, but it's like really shitty weapon customization. Like, oh, you can add a suppressor and you can increase the fire rate, and then that's it. You're done. That's all you can do for this gun. It's like, where are the standards? Where's like increased clip size? Where's like, you know, stabilizing grip? And there are all kinds of steps of getting to different menus through different menus. It's like, all right, first hit the touchpad, then hold down triangle, then go over to, and then now you're where you want to be. Interface is utter trash. And gameplay-wise, what Deus Ex does is switches between first and third person. So whenever you're just moving around, it's in first person. You got a gun in the corner of the screen. But whenever you're stealthing or whenever you take cover, it switches to third person. And this is incredibly jarring. Every time you try to take somebody down, black screen. So it has to stop the gameplay, show a cutscene, and then give you back control. So you know, you're a robot dude. So you have all these cool augmentations that should be cool and fun to use, right? But you have an energy bar, and each one of those should use a little energy, except using them once like completely depletes your energy bar. And you have to either find a little energy bar thing or wait for it to slowly go back up over time, and that is ass. You know what else is completely retarded is that there's a cooldown between takedowns. It's like, alright, if you're using like some electric power, there should be a small energy cost for that. That makes sense. But for just like punching a guy in the face, I gotta wait 10 seconds before I can do it again? Are you shitting me? I've heard people say that the cover is optimized for stealth and not shooting, and that's bullshit. The whole point of the game is supposed to be, you know, stealth versus shooting. You know, you can do either one. It's up to player choice, right? It's all anybody talks about these days is player choice and freedom. And that is total bullshit. The game clearly is built for stealth. The game, like, gives you the option for shooting, but, like, begrudgingly, and it's like, oh, you're one of those Call of Duty people. Alright, you can shoot. No, that's fine. Go ahead, shoot. You know, if you want to take the pussy way out and just shoot everybody, that's fine. If you can't handle the stealth mechanics, then sure. The levels are, like, so clearly set up for stealth, and it's like, if you try to shoot anyone, you get shot to shit. So they have, like, all these giant, super heavily armed metal people, and they're bullet sponges, and you don't have enough ammo to kill them. And just the controls and the movement and getting into cover itself. It's got that, like, Division where you can, like, press X on a piece of cover and it'll do it for you, and it's like, that is bad because it's like, you gotta let the player do it. The controls have to be good enough for me to do it myself. Like, Gears of War has been out for 10 years now. Can we please just copy-paste their cover system, please? It's the best. Just take it. Just do it. But there's like all these arrows, and it's very unclear if you're gonna hop to another cover this way or if you're gonna go around the corner of cover, and it's like hold X or tap X or push in the same direction. It is a very messy cover system. And just the controls and the movement itself, it just feels old. You know, it's got that kind of wind up when you start to move or turn instead of just like hunt. Say what you want about Call of Duty. Call of Duty has the smoothest first-person movement in the industry. I'm not talking about recoil, I'm talking about moving and looking. The first thing I always have to do in a first-person game is mess with the sensitivity, because it's always all off. The only firefight I actually liked and had fun with was this one in a bookstore. It was just a bunch of punks who I could kill in one shot, because, you know, I had a shotgun, like, at close range, so it should be killing them in one shot. And because they were like, oh, stop, we're mafia members, and we've had this club, you have to go around the other side. And I'm like, nobody tells Adam Jensen what street he can and can't use, and I shot them all. You know what this game should have gone for is Mass Effect. Like, Mass Effect's the best example I can think of like, tight third-person cover shooting, and then with cool powers. And Deus Ex should just take that and add a bunch of powers and waste the stuff around people. Because you know in the trailer it shows Adam Jensen just flipping around and shooting and stabbing people left and right and using all these cool powers. You cannot ever do that. You use like one power and then you're without a power for like 5 minutes waiting for it to recharge. Oh, if you just played the game some more, you could upgrade how much energy you got and then you'd get to use more powers. Like, well, there's your problem. I have to wait a certain amount of time to play the game. I have to get to a certain point before it starts being fun. That's the problem with all these games. And like I said, I didn't get very far. I can't comment on progression or how well things keep up, but it's like you need to start strong. Crippling your player from the start is just gonna turn people off. And also checkpoints. Yeah, and that's what makes me turn off the game. That's what makes me quit. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that again. I am not doing that again. I got all through here, talked to this guy, had a conversation with a guy who was in jail, and then on the way out, I was shot, and I had to go all through all that again. And then it spawned me in a house at like the start of the mission. I'm like, oh my god. It's like with Deus Ex Mankind Divided, there isn't any one big, huge thing. It's just a culmination of a bunch of tiny little things that just make the game not fun or fulfilling for me at all. And I'm sorry. And I feel like most newcomers to the series who aren't familiar with it are gonna feel how I feel. I mean, if you liked Human Revolution, I imagine you'll like Mankind Divided. The only review then for you is probably how the story is, and like I said, it's a step down in terms of scale and not as interesting. But that's coming from somebody who's used to the franchise, who's already accustomed to bad controls and old-feeling games, who played the last one. For me, in 2016, this just isn't good enough, I'm sorry. We're gonna bring back my old favorite rating system of incomplete, like the game was incomplete, but actually I'm talking about me being incomplete about playing the game. It's not like the game was a broken-ass piece of shit when it launched, it didn't, but I just like confusing systems. Unless you are already used to Deus Ex Mankind Divided, or are a super patient, super hardcore stealth fan, this is not the game for you, and I would say pass.
Failure.
You know, even all the bad shit I said about Metal Gear Solid 5, I think that game does stealth way better. Badass music, though. Badass soundtrack and cutscenes. That's how they lured me in. They get you with cool-looking shit, and you're like, oh, that looks so effing awesome. And then the game is super boring and slow, and my fault. I fell for it, alright, my fault. I apologize.